Clark and Mitchell hit 5 threes apiece, combining to go 10 of 18. The Fever shot 50% from long range and 53% overall. Y'all said the same thing about Larry Bird. Y'all said the same thing about Luka. It ain't hype. They can legitimately play. She can play.
Yeah. She would call it. So
can Angel Reese.
She had 28 tonight. She had 31. She had 31 the other night, huh?
Shannon Sharpe just dropped a truth bomb on ESPN. He's saying Caitlin Clark should be unanimous Rookie of the Year and first team All WNBA, but some analysts aren't buying it. What's the real story here? Are they just hating, or does Sharpe have it wrong? Let's talk about what went down on First Take. Sharpe came out swinging, calling Caitlin Clark box office. You know what that means, right? He's saying she's a superstar, drawing crowds like crazy. But here's the thing. Not everyone at ESPN agrees. Some analysts are pushing back, and it's getting heated. This isn't just about Clark, though. It's bigger than that. We're talking about respect in women's basketball.
There's a lot of women that was on ESPN that had a lot to say early about this. They gone quiet now. Y'all had a lot to say early. And if you think I'm talking to you, I am. Make no mistake about it. I'm talking to you. You know who you are. Man, she was coming off the picks, let the freeze go.
Yeah.
Enrique come down, let one go.
Yeah.
She said, wow. She said, I'm tired right now. Hey, Kelsey, take that one. Kelsey hit that left hand on him. Wow.
How do we talk about these rising stars? Sharpe's not holding back, and neither are his critics. You won't believe what's coming next in this debate. It's about to get real, and you don't want to miss it. While the debate rages on, Caitlin Clark's been busy rewriting the record books. Her rookie stats are mind-blowing, but that's not even the craziest part. What impact did she have that goes beyond the box score? Let's talk numbers, because in Caitlin Clark's case, they're absolutely insane. This rookie came out swinging, averaging 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game. That's not just good, it's ridiculous. She's not just leading all rookies in scoring, she's leading the entire WNBA in assists. Think about that for a second. A rookie coming in and outperforming veterans who've been in the league for years. That's the kind of impact we're talking about. But here's where it gets even crazier. Clark didn't just put up big numbers, she turned an entire team around. The Indiana Fever. They've been struggling for years, but with Clark on the court, suddenly they're making the playoffs for the first time since 2016.
Diamond DeShield received racist threats after Caitlin Clark flagrant foul. Many are attributing this to Chicago's sometimes cover. Foul ball. Okay, they called a flagrant foul. Okay, just because it was a flagrant foul, it doesn't in turn give you the right to send racists and threats.
Well, you know how people are, huh?
I can just imagine. I think we could all imagine what was said.
Most definitely, especially when you upset the other side. They don't care.
We're talking about a 2020 record, their first 20-win season since 2015. That's not just improvement, that's a complete transformation. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but they lost in the playoffs, right? Yeah, they did. The Connecticut Sun took them out. But here's the thing, that loss isn't a setback, it's part of the journey. Clark came in and immediately got her team to the playoffs. That's huge. It's like she hit fast forward on the Fever's rebuild. But you know what's even more mind-blowing? The impact Clark had off the court. We're talking record-breaking viewership here. 6 media networks reported unprecedented numbers for WNBA coverage. 4 different networks had games that surpassed 2 million viewers. That's unheard of. Clark isn't just playing the game, she's changing how people watch it. So when we talk about Caitlin Clark's rookie season, we're not just talking about one player's stats. We're talking about a player who came in and shook up the entire league. She's bringing new fans to the game, she's elevating her team, and she's doing it all as a rookie. Think about it. How many players can say they led the league in any major stat in their first year? How many can say they turned their team from perennial losers to playoff contenders? And how many can say they brought millions of new viewers to the sport?
We can't go back in time and pat the forefathers on the back. All we can do is say our appreciation. We understand where this game and the guys. And so what she's doing, and you heard what she said, all those Caitlin Clark. I was at the All-Star game. She got one of the loudest ovations. Why you think every time the Lakers went on the road, the arena was sold out? It's for Kobe. LeBron go on the road. Would MJ go on the road?
That's the Caitlin Clark effect. It's bigger than points, bigger than assists, bigger than any one game or season. It's about changing the game itself. And that's why people are talking. That's why Shannon Sharpe is fired up. Because what we're seeing isn't just good basketball, it's history in the making. History in the making. Try telling that to some ESPN analysts. They've been throwing shade at Clark since day one. But Shannon Sharpe's not letting it slide. What did these critics say that got Sharpe so fired up? Let's talk about Monica McNutt and Carolyn Peck. These ESPN analysts weren't buying the Caitlin Clark hype. They had their doubts, especially Peck. She was all about Angel Reese for Rookie of the Year, talking about her grown woman numbers. But Sharpe, he wasn't having any of it. You know what Sharpe said? Y'all had a lot to say early. If you think I'm talking to you, I am. Boom. He called them out directly. No beating around the bush. Sharpe's not just defending Clark. He's challenging these analysts to back up their words. But here's where it gets really interesting. Peck tried to compare Clark to Angel Reese. Big mistake. Sharpe shut that down fast. He's saying Clark's success is her own thing. It doesn't need to be measured against anyone else. It's like comparing apples and oranges, you know? And get this, Sharpe thinks some WNBA players are straight up jealous of Clark. He said, "Y'all mad because that corn-fed Iowa girl busting y'all a..." But that's harsh, but Sharpe's not pulling any punches. He's talking about the flagrant fouls against Clark, the way some players seem to have it out for her. But here's the thing, this isn't just about Caitlin Clark, it's bigger than that. Sharpe's standing up for fair treatment in women's basketball. He's saying we need to give credit where it's due, no matter who the player is or where they come from. Think about it. How often do we see rookies come in and shake up the league like this? It's rare, and when it happens, shouldn't we celebrate it? Sharpe's saying we need to recognize greatness when we see it, not try to tear it down. Remember those record-breaking viewership numbers we talked about earlier? That's what Sharpe's pointing to. He's saying Clark isn't just good for her team, she's good for the whole league. She's bringing in new fans, getting people excited about women's basketball, but some of these analysts, they're stuck in the past. They're not seeing the bigger picture. Sharpe's calling them out on it. He's saying it's time to wake up and see what's happening right in front of them. And you know what's crazy? This debate is just getting started. Sharpe's fired up, and he's not backing down. He's ready to go toe-to-toe with anyone who wants to downplay Clark's impact. So what's next? Well, Sharpe's got more to say, a lot more. He's about to break down exactly why he thinks Clark deserves unanimous recognition. And trust me, you're gonna want to hear this. You think you've heard it all about Clark? Think again. Sharpe's about to drop some knowledge that'll make you see her game in a whole new light. What's got him so convinced she's not just good, but great? Yeah, let's talk about Shannon Sharpe's case for Caitlin Clark. He's not just saying she's good. He's saying she should be unanimous Rookie of the Year and first team All WNBA. That's huge. But why? What's Sharpe seeing that others aren't? First off, let's talk about that assists record. Clark didn't just break it, she shattered it. We're talking about a rookie leading the entire league with 8.4 assists per game. That's not normal. That's not even close to normal. That's a rookie coming in and immediately outplaying veterans who've been in the game for years. But here's the thing, Sharpe's not just looking at the numbers, he's looking at the impact. Remember how we talked about Clark turning the Indiana Fever around? That's what Sharpe's pointing to. He's saying Clark didn't just put up stats, she changed an entire team's trajectory. Now, some people might think Sharpe's trying to diminish past WNBA legends, but that's not it at all. He's actually saying what they did cannot be taken away. Sharpe's not trying to erase history. He's saying we're watching history being made right now. And that's where things get really interesting. Sharpe's not just talking about Clark's rookie season. He's looking at the future. He's predicting greatness. He's saying Clark's not just a flash in the pan. She's the real deal. A player who's gonna keep getting better, keep breaking records, keep changing the game. But you know what's really wild? Sharpe's passionate defense isn't just about Clark. It's about changing the whole conversation around women's basketball. He's calling out the haters, sure, but more than that, he's challenging everyone to look at the game differently. Think about it. How often do we see a rookie come in and immediately become the face of a franchise? How often do we see a player who's not just good at scoring, but who makes everyone around them better? That's what Sharpe's pointing to with Clark. He's saying we're not just watching a good player, we're watching a great one. And you know what? People are starting to listen. Sharpe's not just shouting into the void. He's changing minds. He's getting people excited about women's basketball in a way we haven't seen before. And that's huge. Because here's the thing. It's not just about Clark. It's about the whole league. Sharpe's saying Clark's success is good for everyone. It's bringing in new fans, it's getting people talking, it's raising the profile of the entire WNBA. So when Sharpe says Clark deserves unanimous recognition, he's not just hyping her up. He's backing it up with facts, with impact, with a vision for the future of the game. He's saying Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's elevating it. Alright, let's talk about the bigger picture here. Shannon Sharpe's defense of Caitlin Clark isn't just about one player. It's about respect for the whole game. He's saying we need to give credit where it's due, no matter who's playing. This isn't just talk, it's changing how people see women's basketball. More viewers, more fans, more excitement. That's what happens when we celebrate greatness instead of tearing it down. But here's the thing, it's not just about Clark. It's about every player who's working hard to make it in the WNBA. Sharpe's saying we need to lift these athletes up, not knock them down. So what's next for women's basketball? If Sharpe has his way, it's gonna be big. More respect, more recognition, more people tuning in to see these amazing athletes do what they do best. That's the future we're heading towards, and it's looking brighter every day.